Fudo and Desumi have just started dating, however their relationship is a taboo and can't be known to the world. Fudo Aka Red Gelato is the leader of Gelato 5, a group of heroes dedicated to fight evil and injustice. On the other hand, Reaper Princess Aka Desumi is one of the leaders of Gecko, an evil society who is bent on world domination. Both of our lovers couldn't be more different from each other, but despite their differences, they have fallen in love with each other. Fudo and Desumi are sitting on a mountaintop right next to each other. Fudo asks Desumi to hold hands like a couple, but Desumi is very shy and refuses, as it is only their third date. Fudo's persistence makes Desumi melt away, and just as she is about to hold his hand, Blue Gelato interferes. Fudo and Desumi pretend to tussle with each other to avoid any suspicion. After seeing this, Blue Gelato leaves them alone as he is too weak to interfere in their battle. Seeing Blue Gelato leave, Fudo tells Desumi that they are holding hands right now, which makes Desumi very happy and jump with joy. She instantly pulls out her diary and marks today's date as a memorable day. This reminds Fudo of the day when he proposed to Desumi. A week prior to this, the professor invites Gelato 5 to discuss Reaper Princess and her appearance, which caused a lot of uproar in Gecko. Their meeting is interrupted by an attack of Gecko society. The one leading them is the infamous Reaper Princess and Culver and Bear. Gelato 5 is quick to arrive to deliver justice. They transform into their respective forms and take their battle stance. Culver and Bear orders his minions to attack them, but they are easily defeated by our heroes. Culver and Bear praises Gelato 5 but warns them of what's coming ahead. Fudo Aka Red Gelato asks his team to take care of Culver and Bear while he takes the Reaper Princess alone. Reaper Princess is extremely powerful and is evenly matched with Fudo, who is the strongest of the Gelato 5. Their fight is unfortunately halted when the beaten-up Culver and Bear asks for the retreat. Later, Fudo tells the professor that he is in love with a girl. Seeing Professor's support for his love life, Fudo is very motivated and heads out to propose to the love of his life. On a fateful night, Fudo invites Reaper Princess to a desolate location. Reaper Princess arrives at the scene expecting to fight Fudo in a duel, but her understanding is broken when Fudo suddenly proposes to her. This sudden development leaves her stunned. She can't help but ask Fudo if his mental health is okay. Fudo confesses that he fell in love with her at first sight. Desumi comes to the conclusion that he must be doing this to ruin her mental state so that she is unable to fight properly. She lashes out at Fudo and starts attacking him recklessly. Fudo tries to clear the misunderstanding, but Desumi is unwilling to accept the fact that a man can fall for her. After, Fudo tells a lot of neat details about her, which makes Desumi's heart melt like a gelato cone. This marks the beginning of the love journey between our protagonists. A battle between Gelato 5 and Gecko is being broadcasted, where Fudo and Desumi are pretending to be fighting by hinting on each other's moves. They take the chance to flee away from the battle to hide behind a container to have a little lovey-dovey time together. Seeing Desumi sitting at a distance, Fudo asks her about it. Desumi answers that she must be smelly from all the action today. Fudo jumps near her and swears that he would never leave her no matter what. Hearing this, Desumi is embarrassed and hides away, seeing her cute reaction. Fudo can't help but take pictures of her. Desumi gets angry and asks him to properly take a selfie with her smartphone. The couple's dating time is interrupted by Yellow Gelato. To avoid suspicion, Desumi plays dead on the ground. Yellow Gelato tells Fudo that he has an interview with the TV. During the interview, he is asked about his feelings for Reaper Princess. Fudo answers that there is no one like her in this world and that he can't stop thinking about her all day. His answers are misinterpreted by the reporter as a sign of appreciation for his rival. The reporter asks him about his girlfriend, to which Yellow Rangers start laughing hysterically and tells the reporter that there is no way this muscle hump can ever have affection for an opposite gender. Desumi becomes jealous of Fudo acting all too closely with other females, so she asks Fudo to take her on a date. Fudo agrees to meet her at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Even though Fudo had agreed on a date with Desumi, he doesn't know anything about what to do on a date. He searches about it on the internet, but it makes him even more confused. Just then, Misaki appears behind him reeking of alcohol. She answers Fudo that you can do anything on date as long as it is enjoyable by both parties. This unlocks the well of wisdom inside Fudo's mind, as he now knows what to do tomorrow. Next day, both of them meet at the place they promised. While Desumi is dressed up all like a maiden in love, Fudo is dressed up casually in his gym clothes. Desumi thinks of it as a disguise and doesn't mind. Desumi asks Fudo what to do. Fudo answers that he has set up the date plan. Fudo's plan is a bit unorthodox. Instead of talking Desumi to a nice cafe or restaurant, he takes her to a gym. After spending their whole evening at the gym, he takes her to the park, where he offers her protein bars for dinner. Desumi excuses herself for the toilet and runs away. At that same moment, Misaki calls Fudo and tells him to pay no heed to her advice, as she was drunk yesterday. She tells her some of the rules about dating, which makes Fudo sweat profusely. He ends the call and runs away to find Desumi, but he can't find her anywhere. Just as he is about to give up, Desumi appears before him with drinks. She explains that the protein bars are a bit dry, so you need to have a drink to enjoy it fully. Fudu tells her about the call, which makes Desumi laugh a lot. She tells Fudu that she is content just being with him and doesn't need anything else. This makes Fudu experience that same feeling when he falls in love with her for the first time. Both of their hearts are pounding when their bodies start leaning towards each other for a kiss, but fate had her other plans for them as their communicators ring at the same time. Misaki and Professor are playing Uno when suddenly Gelato 5 gets the order to infiltrate the Gecko headquarters to stop the development of their new weapons. All the other Gelato members are busy, so Fudu takes this opportunity to go see Desumi as he has not seen her for a very long time. Misaki and Professor are in tears seeing Fudu's self-sacrifice for the safety of Japan. In the Gecko headquarters, Desumi is also very depressed by the fact that she has not seen Fudo for 2 entire weeks. On her way to her room, she meets Culver and Bear, who boasts about his new weapons. A few moments later, she finds Fudu, who is on an infiltration mission. She is very delighted to see him, but in order to avoid danger, hides him in her dressing room. Fudu brings out a pack of Uno cards to play with Desumi. Their playtime is interrupted by a video call from a Gecko soldier. Desumi, in great emergency, hides Fudu beneath her as she sits on his face. Just after the video call ends, Culver and Bear barges into the room complaining about an infiltrator, but he fails to find Desumi in the room as she has hid herself and Fudu into the closet. Fudu accidentally pulls out her bra when Desumi punches him out of the closet. Fudu lands on Culver and Bear, whose weapons self-destruct, resulting in the damage of their headquarters. Desumi and Fudu are saying goodbye to each other when Desumi notices a cube on his cheek and applies a cube bandage on it. Fudu gives Desumi his phone number so she can contact him anytime. Later that night, Desumi calls Fudu. To her surprise, it's his mom who picks up the phone. Desumi advises Fudu to buy a personal smartphone, to which Fudu embarrassingly replies yes. At Gecko's headquarters, we are introduced to Bossler, who is the supreme leader of Gecko society. He feeds on the power of humans' negative emotions to create monsters for his world domination. He asks all the leaders for suggestions. After rejecting all of their ideas, he finally settles on an idea proposed by Desumi. Desumi's idea is to target amusement parks as there are a lot of negative emotions there, but her real intention was to select a place where she can have a date with Fudu. At the Gelato headquarters, Fudu is still learning about smartphones when he receives a message from Desumi to meet up on Sunday at an amusement park. Misaki is behind him as she hears him asking Siri about weather on Sunday, so she decides to stalk him. Misaki and Haru are stalking Fudu when suddenly Gecko attacks him. Desumi and Fudu use the opportunity of the battle to flee from the scene. After that, both of them enjoy a good time together like a couple. Desumi is going home with her school friends when she happens to see Fudu together with Haru in a cafeteria. Her friends comment on how good both of them look together and that they are a perfect couple. This makes Desumi jealous and insecure, so she runs away in anger. Inside the cafe, Haru is thinking of asking Fudu about his picture with a girl that she saw recently, but she is too embarrassed to ask about such private affairs. Fudu concludes that Haru must be here to ask him for training methods. He gives her a list of training methods and explains it to her in detail, which leads Haru into thinking that no way this guy can ever have a girlfriend. Their conversation is cut short by the emergency call. They head out with other Gelato 5 members to fight off against Gecko. Desumi is very angry at Fudu, so she goes full-on assault on him. After beating for a while, she throws him towards a building. Inside that building, she asks Fudu about who that girl was. Fudu explains that he only loves her. Desumi answers that she knows that, but still she thinks that she is not a fit for her. Fudu hugs Desumi and confesses that she is the only girl for him, and he will always love her, no matter what. After the fight ends, both of them are sitting behind a wall being all lovey-dovey, but this time their cover is busted by Haru, who is sitting beside them. Haru leaves without saying a word. This makes Fudu think that maybe she doesn't know anything about their relationship, so he asks her whether she heard anything. Haru answers that she heard everything, which makes Fudu depressed, thinking that it's all over. Fudu thought that she would tell everyone about his relationship, but to his surprise, she didn't tell anyone. Next few days, Fudu and Desumi spent their time thinking about why Haru still hasn't told anyone about their relationship. One day, both of them are meeting at their regular park when Resume asks Fudu to go and bring her a drink. After Fudu leaves, Desumi greets Haru, who is standing in front of her. Haru challenges Desumi to a duel as she transforms into a pink gelato. Desumi easily beats her and knocks her unconscious. When Haru wakes up, Desumi asks her about the reason for why she didn't tell anyone about her and Fudu relationship. Haru tells Desumi that she joined Gelato 5 because she fell in love with Fudu. But when she saw Fudu as a girlfriend and it's someone who has saved her life in the past from the thugs, she wasn't as disappointed as before. Desumi is also shocked to hear about Haru's identity. After a while, Fudo comes panting and apologizes to Desumi that he couldn't find her drink. She points at him to lower his voice. Fudo is shocked to see a sleeping Haru on her lap. At Gecko's headquarters, Bossler presents the team rankings to everyone. This time it was the bear team who was at first place. He also declares Reaper Princess as the role model for everyone. The Beast Princess is very angry at the fact that the Reaper Princess is always ahead of her. At the lunch table, the Beast Princess is still angry at the Reaper Princess. On the other hand, the Steel Princess is as calm as always, but this time something has happened that made her feel flustered for the first time. It was love. She has fallen in love. But according to her, she lacks femininity, and that's why she can't propose to her lover. Desumi thinks that she can help the Steel Princess in increasing her femininity. All three of the princesses go on a training plan to increase their femininity. But Desumi efforts fall short when the Steel Princess makes no progress. This makes the Steel Princess very depressed, and she locks her away in her room. After a lot of motivation and encouragement from Desumi, the Steel Princess finally decides to take off her armor, which shows her feminine charm and full power. But they are soon shocked when they learn that the Steel Princess crush was none other than the Culver and Bear. Culver and Bear alongside the Steel Princess attack Gelato 5. Once again, Fudo and Desumi are having a little date. Their date is about to be interrupted by Blue Gelato when Haru comes in to save the day. Desumi brings out the lunchbox that she has made for Fudo. She wants to feed him by her hands just like the couple in movies. Just when she is about to feed Fudo, Fudo starts having stomach aches and falls unconscious. In the hospital, Fudo is recovering from his appendicitis. Misaki tries to feed a peeled apple to Fudo, but he refuses to open his mouth as he wants Desumi to be his first woman to do such a thing. Haru once again saves the day by eating it from Misaki's hands. After they leave, Desumi comes to visit Fudo, and this time she personally feeds him the apple. Fudo prays that it's the best thing he has ever eaten, making Desumi blush with joy. In the heat of the moment, both of them lean in order to kiss, but this time it's the mother of Fudo destroying his son's ambition. Fudo and Desumi are once again having their little secret date. Noticing that the summer's on its peak, they decide to have a little date on the beach. Both of them are really excited for their date, but their excitement is blasted when Bossler announces that Reaper Princess is going to be promoted. The promotion, however, is something which makes our princess shudder. Gecko Society has a hierarchy. The Supreme Leader has squadron leaders, and the squadron leaders have their own sub-leaders called princesses. In order to become a squadron leader, you have to let go of your humanity and transform into an animal. Desumi can't refuse the promotion because of her family's happiness. She contacts Fudo, and Fudo tells her to do what she wants and that he will always love her no matter what decision she makes. Desumi musters up her courage and refuses Bossler at their next meeting. Instead of getting angry at Desumi, he praises her will and her pursuit of martial arts. In order to set up their beach date, Fudo leaks the details of a mission which is going to be conducted on a beach by Gelato 5. Desumi then gives that details to Culver and Bear so he can arrange the beach invasion. This gives both of them a chance to have a date on the beach. On the day of the date, all of our characters are in their swimsuits enjoying the sea, when Professor Gelato accidentally fires the wrong missiles at the beach, ruining Gecko's plans. Fudo and Desumi use this opportunity to sneak up together. Fudo is mesmerized by seeing Desumi in a swimsuit and praises her to the end. Both of them play beach games. The Beast Princess is hiding behind the rock, observing them when the Blue Gelato approaches her and drags her to have a date with him. On the other side, Desumi joins up with Gelato 5 and enjoys grilling barbecue with them. The beach episode ends with the fireworks. Desumi and Fudo stand there together admiring the beautiful fireworks. Dago is cooking dinner for Gelato 5. Seeing his axe, Misaki teases him by saying if he is looking for a girlfriend, but Dago is calm and unnerving as ever like a stone. Haru can't help but praise his will. Dago is on his way to deliver the food to Fudo and hears him talk about Desumi. Hearing the word Desumi, Dago falls onto the ground as if he has heard the name of the devil. On the infirmary bed, Dago tells the origin of Desumi, the demon that he personally crafted by his own hands. In a flashback, young Desumi, who is only 7 years old, is brought to train at a dojo where Dago was also a student. Dojo master asks Dago to take care of Desumi. To test her skills, Dago asks Desumi to hit him in the stomach. The single punch was deadly enough that his life flashed before his eyes. But in order to keep his face, he brushes off Desumi by saying it was a good punch. Next day, Dojo Master announces his retirement after being defeated by young Desumi. Dago sees young Desumi crying all alone in the dojo. He encourages her that he will be her instructor from now onwards. This was the beginning of his nightmare. Every day he was beaten up badly by young Desumi, but to keep his face, he still kept going. This is how Desumi acquired her title of the Reaper amongst the folks of the town. Later on, both of them have grown up. After Dago's parents' divorce, he is forced to move to Tokyo. But before going to Tokyo, he fights Desumi for one last time. This time was no different from before. In under 2 minutes, he was badly beaten by Desumi. Fast forward to present time, Fudo is impressed by Desumi's story and writes it in his diary. Daigo tells Fudo that he will scout Desumi for Jolito 5 so her powers don't fall into the wrong hands. Seeing this, Fudo is a bit afraid of what would be coming next, as the current Desumi is already an executive at Gecko Society. Fudo brings Desumi to introduce her to Daigo. Daigo scouts her to join Jolito 5. At first, Desumi is happy that this way she can spend all the time together with Fudo. But after thinking about her people at Gecko, she gives up and answers that she will not join Jolito 5. She tells him that she is happy at where she is. After seeing her being lovey-dovey with Fudo, Daigo comes to a conclusion that Desumi must have gotten weaker. This is the best time for him to conquer his trauma. Daigo challenges Desumi to a duel. His condition for duel is that if Desumi wins, he will give up on recruiting her. But if he wins, Desumi would have to give up on Fudo, as no dating is allowed at Jolito 5. At first, Desumi is afraid she can't beat Daigo, but hearing the bet, she gets angry and beats the living crap out of Daigo, leaving him barely with his life. Daigo is impressed by this weird couple, and in his heart gives them his blessings. On the way back to home, Desumi and Fudo are clinging to each other when a stalker takes a picture of them with a creepy smile on their face. Fudo receives a mysterious parcel, which turned out to be a picture of him and Desumi alongside a note which ordered him to meet at a park. Desumi is at her school having lunch together with her friends when suddenly a girl named Anna steals her onigiri. The Beast Princess and the Steel Princess step forward and stop Anna from bullying Desumi. Fudo arrives at the park as suggested by the note. There he meets with the stalker, who turned out to be Anna. Anna doesn't reveal her identity and warns Fudo to leak his picture. Fudo begs Anna to not do this, to which she requests Fudo to break up with Desumi. Fudo rejects her in a heartbeat. Anna doesn't give up and asks Fudo to kiss her hand like a servant. But soon she backs up in embarrassment and runs away, warning Fudo that she will come back tomorrow with worse ideas. Later on, Fudo tells Desumi about the stalker. Desumi is very angry and swears to get rid of her. But after being calmed down by Fudo, she comes to a conclusion that maybe that stalker is in love with Fudo. Later, Fudo meets with Anna again and rejects her by saying he already has a lover, to which Anna slaps him and says she loves Desumi, not him. This mislip from her mouth leads to a friendship between both Desumi admirers. She tells Fudo about how Desumi is kind to her when every other person is afraid of her and stays away. She also tells Fudo that she and Desumi share a secret that even he doesn't know. At Gecko's headquarters, the Princess Trio are called for a meeting when they chance upon the Heat Princess. The Beast Princess comments on the Heat Princess personality and calls her a creep for not showing her face. They have not even heard her talk once. After their departure, the Heat Princess removes her mask, and it turns out to be Anna, who seems to be love-struck by Desumi's adorable looks. Fudo and Desumi are having their secret date when Haru barges in and asks Fudo to teach her for the upcoming exams. Desumi asks them if she can join their study group. She also invites them to her place for the study. Next day, under the lead of Desumi, Fudo and Haru manage to sneak into Gecko's dormitory. Upon entering Desumi's room, Fudo gets too excited and starts sniffing the room, but his ambitions are laid to rest after a mighty punch from Desumi's cat. Desumi and Fudo team up together to teach Haru, but their way of teaching makes Haru even more confused. Just when she is about to leave, she mentions about university, which leads Desumi to think of her future. Desumi and Fudo are sitting together when Desumi asks Fudo about his university plans. Fudo answers Desumi that he wants to study education so he can be a teacher/hero in future. Desumi is envious of Fudo's ambition, so she also decides to attend the same university as Fudo. They both hold hands and rest on each other's shoulders. However, their peaceful time is ended when suddenly Desumi's father knocks on the door, which frightens both of them. Desumi's father, alongside her little sister Urami, barges into the room. Desumi's father questions Fudo's appearance and purpose of being in her daughter's room. Desumi explains to him that he is just here to teach her for upcoming exams. Urami is angered at Fudo and punches him in the face, which manages to destroy half of his helmet, but instead of getting angry, Fudo laughs and praises her potential as Desumi's little sister. Desumi's father orders Desumi to quit her studies and focus on becoming a full-time Gecko. Fudo realizes the gravity of this matter and begs Desumi's father to let her go to university. Once again, Urami gets angry at Fudo for speaking in her sister's personal life, just when she is about to hit him again. Her hand is grabbed by Desumi, who warns her not to do this again. Hearing her sister's warning, Urami starts to cry and hides herself in the closet. Desumi apologizes to Fudo and explains that Urami has a bit of a sister complex. Desumi's father accepts Fudo's determination and leaves this matter to the future. Seeing his sister and Fudo being so close to each other, Urami gets upset and swears to remove this man from her sister's life. In a flashback, Urami is getting bullied by some boys when her sister comes to rescue her. In her eyes, her sister is the coolest person in the world. Back to the present time, Desumi brings Urami to Gecko's headquarters for a field trip. Urami is starstruck by seeing her sister getting all the respect, but her opinion soon changes when she sees her acting all girly with them. In the conference room, she introduces herself to Gecko's supreme leader as she shows interest in working here after finishing her junior school. Desumi doesn't let Urami stay there for long and brings her away on a shopping trip. Seeing her sister acting cute and feminine, Urami gets disappointed and lashes out at her sister by calling her weak. She runs away from her and goes to sit in the corner. She recalls her memories from the time when Desumi had just left for Tokyo. Without her sister, she is all alone, with no one to protect her. One day, she gets bullied by some kids who call her an emo girl who can't speak without the help of her sister. This makes Urami very depressed as she locks herself in the room for weeks. She finally comes out of the room after hearing that her sister is going to be promoted to monster. She promises to her parents that she will become someone strong like her sister. In the present time, she is approached by some hooligans who ask her to come with them to have fun. She is about to refuse them when one of them suddenly calls her emo. The trauma makes her unable to do anything. Just when she has lost all hope, her sister comes to rescue her and beat those hooligans. Desumi offers her a crepe and tells her that she is the strongest because of love and suggests Urami to love someone too. Urami makes up with her sister, but she can't reconcile with Fudo and swears to purge him from her sister's life. Desumi invites Fudo to her school festival. Her goal is to sit on the fabled Kokute moon with Fudo. Any couple who sits on that moon becomes an invincible couple for eternity. She also tells Fudo that her class will be doing a maid cafe, so he must attend. Hearing this, Fudo is even more fired up. Fudo plans are messed up by Hayato Aka Blue Gelato. Hayato continues to stand up on Fudo's shoulders to show off his status as Blue Gelato. After barely getting away from Hayato, Fudo runs to meet with Desumi. Desumi is also trying to get out of the class to meet up with Fudo. She is chatting with Fudo when Anna appears behind him and reads her chat. She asks Desumi to sit with her on the Kokute moon. Desumi refuses and runs away. In the school, the best princess is also destroying any couples she sees. After being teased by the Steel Princess, who is accompanied by Culver and Bear, the Beast Princess gets even more angry and curses all couples. Desumi and Fudo finally unite in the horror room. Desumi shares her cookies with Fudo, which makes him smile with joy. The couple is forming a plan to sit on the Kokute moon when they are attacked by the couple's hating princess. Desumi and Fudo run in different directions and barely manage to save themselves. Fudo once again is captured by Hayato when the Kokute moon makes its appearance. Its appearance leads all the couples running towards it. Desumi is in a pinch as she runs away from Anna, who keeps chasing after her. In order to save herself, she enters the nurse's room where she finds a blood princess who is a teacher. After bribing her with a Bossler super doll, she asks her to hold back Anna as she makes a run. Desumi finally arrives at the event, but she is caught by the Beast Princesses, who questions her whether she is here for her boyfriend too, but she is saved from the answer when Hayato happens to see the Beast Princess and runs after her. The Beast Princess is afraid of Hayato and runs to save her life. Finally, after the whole day, both couples get the opportunity to meet together, but their problem isn't over. They can't just sit on the moon without being recognized by everyone, but after seeing all the cosplays, Desumi has an idea. Both of them transform into their fighting forms and head to the moon as a couple. Everyone mistakes them as cosplay couples and cheers for them. After the whole day of struggles, they finally get to sit on the Kokute moon and complete their mission. Desumi and others are having lunch in the cafeteria when she suddenly asks why the Judgment Princess is always sitting alone. The Beast Princesses answer that she has always been alone like this. Desumi approaches the Judgment Princess for a small talk, but the latter walks away. Her squadron leader tells her that as a spy, she has always been like this without any relationships. Desumi isn't someone who would give up so quickly, so she gives an invitation to the Judgment Princess for a sleepover. At the sleepover, all the princesses gather and have a takoyaki party. Suddenly, someone rings the doorbell, so Desumi heads to open the door. But to their surprise, it's Fudo. Everyone gets ready to fight him, but Desumi shouts that it's not Fudo. Fudo tears him apart and reveals the Judgment Princess inside. The girls learn that the Judgment Princess can transform into anyone for infiltrating missions. The sleepover continues as all girls enjoy the party. After eating, Desumi starts to talk about romance. The Judgment Princess questions Desumi if she is in love. After seeing Desumi blush, she starts to transform into random characters in order to guess her love. To dodge the accusation, Desumi brings out the muffler that she made for everyone. At night, when everyone is asleep, the Judgment Princess prepares to leave, but her actions are noticed by Desumi, who comes out to say goodbye. The Judgment Princess thanks Desumi for everything and tells her that she enjoyed the time she spent together. Fudo and Desumi are enjoying their little date on the mountaintops. Fyu tells Desumi that his new book is about to be released, so she must come to the signing event. Desumi promises Fyu that she will come even if it kills her. Next day at school, Desumi falls ill and is carried to the infirmary by her friends. Blood Princess puts Desumi on the bed to have her relaxed. The Beast Princess and the Steel Princess visit Desumi but don't find her in the class. Desumi friends tell them that she is at the nurse's office. Hearing this, the Beast Princess is reminded of her trauma. She informs the Steel Princess that the Blood Princess, who is also the nurse, has a weird fetish of being a mother. They decide to feign sickness in order to help Desumi escape, but they are too late in their arrival. The Blood Princess has already turned Desumi into a baby. The Blood Princess sends both of them to a special nursing room to treat their sickness. Fyu arrives at the school to check on Desumi. He finds her laying on the infirmary bed in her childish clothes. Desumi mistakes him for the nurse and asks him to read her a book. Fyu reads her the new book he wrote, which awakens Desumi from her fever. She covers herself with the blanket and asks him about the signing event. Fyu answers her that there was no customer, so he came back. This makes Desumi happy as she will be the first one to get the autograph. Below, in the special room, the Blood Princess is reading her storied book to the princess laying on her lap with a pacifier in their mouth. Fyu and Desumi are on their secret date. When Fyu brings up the topic about his new commercial, he gives Desumi the script of the commercial. After reading the commercial, Desumi is enraged and tells Fyu to refuse it. But Fyu questions her what is wrong with it, to which Desumi is enraged and runs away, calling him stupid. Haru walks into the commotion and tells Fyu that she knows why Desumi ran away. She answers that how would he feel after seeing his lover cutting a marriage cake with another man? Even the imagination makes him infuriated. Fyu thanks Haru and heads to Gelato headquarters to refuse the commercial. Professor Gelato reminds Fyu that this commercial is very necessary for the team, so he must do it. Fyu decides that his first time must be Desumi, so he starts baking a cake for them. In Gecko's headquarters, Bossler invites all the executives to the conference room and shows them his ultimate product of mass destruction. However, his plans are soon met to an end when the Phantom Ultimate gets out of control and starts attacking everyone. Despite everyone trying their best against the beast, no one can defeat it. It even devours the Culverin bear and absorbs his ability. After blasting an attack which destroys everyone, it flies away to the city. Fyu finally bakes a perfect cake after many trials and errors. He calls Desumi, but Desumi, who is upset that Fyu hasn't messaged her in 2 days, denies the call. The time is running out and Fyu has no option but to do the commercial. Fyu and the actress are about to cut the cake when they are suddenly attacked by the Ultimate Phantom. Gelato 5 arrives at the scene and fights against the monster, but even their combined efforts fail against the monster. The Princess series also steps in to help them, but they are quickly defeated and absorbed. The monster sees the cake and eats it to transform into a giant cake monster. Seeing the monster power, Gelato 5 are depressed, but after a call from Professor, they learn that they can combine their weapons into an ultimate sword. However, that ultimate sword proves to be quite heavy for our hero to lift. At that moment, Desumi steps in and helps Fyu to lift up the sword. Both of them jump up in the sky and slashes the sword at the cake monster. This makes them realize that it's the same as cutting a cake. Realizing this, both of our protagonists are happy and cheerfully cut the cake. After the fight has settled, both of them apologize for their behavior. The little phantom monster is still alive and even calls them Mama and Papa, which makes both of them blush. That's all for today. If you enjoyed our video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.